Making. Lawson.
Yep.
Andrew Barnson.
A hunting ground for lucid recognition. Don't tell me I will find my
Okay, it's a dark, not quite a stormy morning and heading out of Sumner. Pete, how far are we going today?
Well, this is the start of the journey, Dave. It's 650 k's ahead of them in the next 4 days. Another 4 passes to go. A lot of hard climbing, a lot of hard riding.
And very unpredictable weather.
Well, it looks like it's going to be good for the first day or two, but once you get to the West Coast, you never know, do
You
you?
never know quite what's going to happen.
a hunting ground for lucid recognition. Don't tell me I will find my
I'm with James Gibson. James had the quickest time in the prologue last night, 8 minutes 10 seconds going up Evans Pass. Was a pretty good effort. James, how'd you find it?
Oh, it was hard work. I was really struggling at the top, and that extra 20 yards where you've got to turn left and up to the finish line, that almost killed me, that last little stretch. But yeah, it was really good. And having Scott Molina coming in just behind me at, what was it, 4 seconds down?
Yeah, 4 seconds.
God, it was hard work.
Now today we're heading up from Amberley, heading up into Weka Pass, which is the first stage, King of the Mountains. You're riding for the Peak Fuel team, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Any plans at this stage?
I don't know, I'll give it a go on Weka Pass and see what happens, but with a sprint stage straight afterwards, I think there'll be quite a lot of people who are keen to stay in touch for the sprints afterwards. I don't know, we'll see what happens really.
We got the bananas, we got the bars, rice, coke, drinks for the troops. Hopefully they'll be here soon to knock it all away so we don't have to pack it all up again.
And who was in charge of counting the bananas?
That was not me, some monkey. I think that might have been Pete. If he was, he's a sad bastard.
And what's your job?
I'm Chief Gopher.
That's an interesting accent. Are you Australian?
I wish. No, I'm English, and I've brought the weather with me.
So if you are special needs food, come to me.
Can I ask how it is that the green bag there got amongst the red bag?
I don't know, actually. I think perhaps that person was just a little bit special and wanted a bag.
I thought you were in charge of bags.
Oh, not really, no. I'm food, actually.
I'm in charge of
Yeah,
food.
food.
Okay, well, we've been through
I'm just
food.
helping with the bag people now, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so first up we have here the Pro 4 Go Fast powder, preferably watered down, not so good for the sinuses. Sugar next in brown form, good for your teeth, that one. All the bananas, apparently there's 130 in case 4 people want to, so they've got extra ones in there, and so 10 plastic forks there to eat more than 10 cans of delicious creamy rice. Righto, what are you lot up to? Steve Prescott, Dunedin.
G'day, how are we going? I can't believe you're not doing it this year, though, you slack ass.
What are you eating, mate?
Rice, mate, cream rice. All good for you, hey?
It's
No,
terrible.
no, it's not, it's good for you.
It is.
Yeah.
Look what it's done to Jerry.
Yeah, well.
Cream rice. What? It's made me look like a mini Arnold Schwarzenegger.
As you've seen at the aid stations, the riders enjoy a variety of treats, as it were. None more popular than the creamy rice, which Daryl and Scott are enjoying greatly.
Carbon meets rock. Oh, and he's still leading. He's lying on the grass.
To win now.
Lie on the grass.
Not like thing like this on the grass.
There you go. Not on your derailleur. Okay, so we're just looking at number 74 here. They've got their running shoes, obviously to warm up, but they've also got a consignment of Vaseline and what appears to be some white cream in a bottle.
Mary Jones heading into the Weka Pass strong as ever. She's back on the road again after having a serious accident, and she's the only woman in A grade and doing extremely well.
Here we are coming up to the Weka Pass King of the Mountains stage.
You watch at the back there, one of the favourites, James Gibson, just at the foot of the last bit of climb there, actually throws his chain.
Almost takes out another rider. Here it is.
His chain. Dave Wilson now out of it, turns into a bit of a sprinter's finish.
Looks like Troy Campbell is leading the way, being the sprinter that he is. Yep, sure enough, Troy takes it out, the King of the Mountain, so he gets King of the Mountain points. And this is the B bunch. I think. Who's that? It'll be Robert Loveridge. Rob Loveridge, yep. Just easing up over the line. Takes the points, King of the Mountain points for B grade. Here we have Brent McMeeking at the Huranui sprint, whipping the horse as he goes through. Brent went away on a long breakaway right from the after the Weka Pass King of the Mountains and made it right through the Huranui. and the rest of the bunch. B sprint.
No surprise, it's probably
Rob Loveridge.
Yeah.
They were all over the road and spread out quite a bit down the road. Big number of riders in the B grade. Here we have the A grade bunch getting ready for the sprint, or they're into the sprint right now.
The famous Culverdon sprint.
Dangerous at the best of times sprinting, especially when something like that happens. Steve has a look behind to see just what happened. Here we go, Ricky Simonson. Somehow he's managed to end up hitting his head rather hard on the road and ending up in the grass.
You actually spoke to him, didn't you, Bruce? And he wasn't actually touched by another rider in that incident.
No, there was not another rider involved. What he did was change gears and somehow bottomed the crank out, and all his weight went forward, lifted the back wheel and just threw him sideways, high-sided it and ended up in the grass.
He's a sore man.
Very lucky that we had a tour doctor there straight away, attending him. We also had another 2 doctors riding in the tour, so they were on hand as well, but fortunately for Ricky, he came up just with a few grazes and a few bruises.
The helmet.
He actually broke his helmet. That's how hard he hit the ground. In the background there you can see just below what says Shark's Tooth is the Shark's Tooth. It's a rock sitting up in the middle of the one of the wee branches of the Weka River. Quite a popular spot for kayakers to go through. You've got to make sure that the river's running right to get through there, otherwise it can be a bit tricky. The riders are just crossing the Weka River over the high Hanmer bridge, just going up a slight incline. It's like Steve Prescott's there climbing in the big chainring. At this stage, the A grade that we're following at the moment are just getting ready for a flat out downhill, then they'll get onto the flats and they'll be pushing it really hard right through to the stage finish in Hanmer.
Stay out here till the morning time. We can watch the sunrise for a week or two. And if the sky falls, it can rain on those monkey eyes. We can rest for a little while until the weather.
Looks like we're going to have a bunch sprint finish into Hanmer here. Just coming around the final bend.
Starting to sort themselves out now. Looking at that flag there, there's a very, very strong crosswind they're going to be fighting with. Some of them out of the saddles already, some of them have already given up.
Starting to wind up now. Looks like Dave Lawson got the legs going like pistons.
He's hit his straps there. See behind him Steve Gurney's out of the saddle trying to... He's given up at this point. He's chasing for second.
Ricky Simonson in there second. Steve Gurney third.
It's the C bunch now coming down the hill, about to hit the straight and about to hit the wind.
Something they won't be looking forward to. It's a nasty ride up into Hanmer with the wind blowing like that.
Social time on the grades was really good this year because we had 4 separate grades. D grade in particular found it fascinating to get into a bunch ride. A lot of them had not ridden in a bunch ride before and didn't know the etiquette, and therefore really enjoyed rolling around and learning a little bit about each other. C grade were a little bit different. There's a bit more competition within C grade, a bit more experience perhaps. Likes of Stan and those guys up front and Budgie, who were out there trying to knock each other off the perch, so to speak. So I couldn't help that one.
Oh, yeah, shocker.
I know. But they were just loving just sneaking in front of each other or seeing where they were at the end of each day, who was getting the points and where they were on the sprints and stuff like that. So it was great.
Not to mention the likes of Greg Catered coming through on the sprints there.
He's a burglar, that guy, isn't he?
He should be in jail.
And with B grade, the competition was far greater this year, leading into the A grade, which is fiercely competitive. So, social-wise, at the end of each day, what surprised me was that everybody was happy to talk to each other. There was all sorts of interaction and involvement, and the guys were happy to share experiences and knowledge all right through the grades. Did you find that?
Oh, absolutely. And what was really good is that they were, there's so many interesting people there. Sure. Like I say, varied occupations, varied lifestyles, and it's just fantastic to see them all interact and meet new people. It's great.
We have some of the riders crossing the line.
The B graders out of the saddle on the dead flat, just powering into that wind. It's a very strong wind.
Almost looks slow motion. It's not. Nasty wind to ride into.
I'm very much looking forward to a soak in the hot waters. So at the end of a very scenic first day, we've got Steve Gurney still out in front. The top three are very close, only separated by under a minute. Troy Campbell still leads the sprint, and James Gibson still retains the polka dot jersey. In the women, Pernell Fletcher has got a clean sweep at this stage. She's got the yellow, the green and the KOM jerseys.
My mate took me out. Can you believe it? My mate took me out. But he pack slows down, we lock up brakes, he swings across, takes out my handlebar, slap, straight on the ground.
Where was that? When did this happen?
Low burn, I got told.
Oh, very early on.
Very early, yep. I did 33k, something like that. Yeah, so I've got two spiral fractures in my meta-somethings. Fingers. No, not my metatarsals, yeah. And the bones in your hand. Yeah, in there.
Yeah.
So the middle one.
Spiral fracture. Is that when it twists? And
yes. It looks like if you think of a tree, you got the tree trunk and you got the grain coming down. So like, and if it got really windy, it would twist. Yeah. So the fracture, you can actually see it. The fracture twists around the bone.
That one and that one.
So it is a middle finger.
Yeah. Well, that one.
Oh yeah. I suppose. Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah. I was going from the right. Yeah. So have you got it?
Well, if you go from the right, it's still the middle finger.
Well, no. Yeah. What it is 5, isn't it? So the middle one's the third one.
Yes.
Well, that's probably it then.